Have you ever lived in absolute fear? A fear that claws the very fabric of your soul. A wretched miasma that drowns you in despair. Even as you think yourself safe, the beast that is fear lurks behind, plunging you into eternal darkness. Place again. What is it this time?
Don't you remember having an interview later?
Yeah, but why does it matter to you?
Because I know you will fail, without a doubt, badly.
What? How do you know? Who are you to say such a thing?
Because I know you will fail. You do not have the slightest hope of passing this interview.
I'll show you.
Do you know how many people have failed this interview? How could you possibly pass this interview?
But
Enough!
Timothy Liu Zihao.
Yes.
It's your turn now?
Thank you. Please take a seat.
Okay.
Hi, so can you tell me more about yourself?
Oh, okay. I'm Timothy. I'm a psychology undergraduate. A psychology graduate from Help University, and I'm interested in the position in your company's human resource department.
Can you tell me why you're interested in joining my company specifically?
I've done some research about the company, and sorry. I've done some research.
Okay, maybe you can tell me more about your strengths and weaknesses. Hello? 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 What are you looking at?
Nothing.
You know what? I think we're done with this interview for today. Please show yourself out.
I know you're there. I can't let this go on anymore. I have to do something.
What can you do? You can't do anything. Every time you go for interview, you stammer, you falter. Who would hire you?
I know I stammer and falter, but interviews are scary and they're stressful. But that doesn't mean I'm a failure.
Do you remember your first interview? When you ran away? Like a coward.
I know that, but everybody gets scared once in a while. And I was brave. I was brave enough to come out of my comfort zone. And ever since, I never ran away again since then.
What about your third interview? You vomited before you could even go into the room.
I did vomit, but that was because I was nervous. But now I am trying to learn how to control my emotions. And besides, when you think about it, it was pretty funny.
How do you explain your fourth interview that you got rejected on the spot? Such a failure.
I remember that, but that job wouldn't have suited me anyways. What mattered was that I tried and gave it my best.
But you have failed so many times already. You will never succeed.
Shut up! You know nothing about me. You've only been underestimating me all this time. And I believe in myself. I believe that I can do it. I don't need to be afraid of you anymore. So, fear is indeed a terrifying emotion. But, even as it drives us into a corner, fear is a part of our life. It is a trial that needs to be overcome, a stepping stone to greater heights. Fear is something that all of us has to face at some point in our lives. Believe it or not, even as I give a talk to all of you here, I used to be fearful of a simple interview. I was frightened, I was scared. Fear was the only thing that I've ever known. But one day I decided enough was enough. I faced my fears and I overcame them. So, tell me, have any of you here experienced the same kind of fear as I did? Then, let us all overcome our fears.
Hello Eric, how are you? It's me again. Well, any psychologist or anyone studying emotions would tell you it really depends, isn't it? On what kinds of fears. If it's extreme problematic fears, crippling, say anxieties, or maybe an anxiety disorder, then some kind of treatment, some kind of intervention will be helpful. Usually some kind of step-by-step process to help you rationalize away the fears, helping you get onto the root of the fear, understanding what it is that triggers that sense of fear. Why does it always provoke that kind of reaction? For more extreme fears, people who have phobias, for instance, we have treatment approaches that involve systematic desensitization. That's a fancy way of saying that the more I the more I give you things which you might be fearful of, let's imagine this is a real mouse, the more I expose that mouse to you, the more likely you are to get accustomed to it, more likely you are to adapt to that fear triggering stimulus to the point where it doesn't really bother you so much anymore. People who fear flying, for instance, might start flying shorter distances before attempting to fly longer distances. Other ways to overcome fear is to actually understand what it is that's triggering this fear. What is it that causes you to feel that fear, and underlying cause for it. So I fear exams because why? I fear the failure. So it's not so much the exam so much, but the sense that I might fail on this paper and that might result in a whole bunch of other negative consequences, such as my parents being very upset with me. So I'm actually fearful of that as a consequence. Right? Maybe not so much the exam per se, but what might happen if I don't perform well on the exam. I like the segment in the video where Tim was actually talking to himself. It was revealed at the end of the video. So when you unmask the fear, sometimes it might just be your inner critic, your inner voice that tells you you can't do this, you'll not be good enough for this. So I think speaking or taking note of your inner voice, that inner script that tells you that you'll not do well in this interview, you'll not do well in the exam, and finding reasons to question those beliefs might be a very good way to deal with fear. So if you're constantly plagued with thoughts that you'll fail in this exam, the teacher or the lecturer will not like this presentation, you'll get the C- or D even for this course, maybe start by questioning those kinds of thoughts and see whether you have some kind of a rational, objective reason to believe those thoughts. It could very well be your own fears acting up, spiraling out of control, and usually that happens, you catastrophize the situation. You make a mountain out of a molehill. Thank you.